screensaver is on. The video is recording.
For African Americans.
Historically, the holiday was relatively obscure, with its origins in the Southwest. But as Black families migrated, they brought their original traditions with them, including Juneteenth celebrations of food, family, and music.
People, particularly who had grown up in Texas, brought the holiday of Juneteenth with them.
Since that day in 1865, Juneteenth has seen its popularity and visibility rise, slowly outside of Black communities and into the broader public sphere. Americans across the country have been taking advantage of the holiday weekend, but some are still learning about its significance, like tourist Alex Merkel and his fiancée, who are visiting the National Mall in D.C.
news to me up until I was in my 40s, so that was kind of shocking that like a big piece of American history is something I had never learned about and was unaware of that much of my life.
Last year, about 6 in 10 adults said they knew at least a little about the Emancipation holiday, according to a poll from Gallup. Whereas in 2021, just 37% of people expressed some familiarity with the celebration. That was the year that President Biden officially commemorated the date. While Black Americans had always celebrated, the new federal holiday has been somewhat controversial. Wilson, the Montclair professor, put it this way.
Kids in America have been taught for over 100 years that Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves on January 1st, 1863 with the Emancipation Proclamation. They believe that the Civil War came to an end when Robert E. Lee surrendered his army to Ulysses S. Grant. The history of Juneteenth contradicts both of those things.
Despite its uncomfortable origins and the direct ties many Black people feel with the celebrations, non-Black people can learn from the day as well, according to Greg Carr, an associate professor of Africana Studies at Howard University. Because of the political turmoil the country has undergone in recent years, Carr says holidays like Juneteenth can help Americans unpack what it means to participate in society.
I think Juneteenth celebrations are a chance for this country, for the United States, to rethink not only its origins, but the relationship of everybody who lives in this country to each other.
Meanwhile, back on the National Mall, visiting Texas native Patience Williams says she's glad the holiday is getting the attention it deserves.
As a Black person, it means a lot to me, to celebrate everybody who was free, because it's like so many people don't know, and it's a part of our history. Like, we celebrate everything in America, so those Black holidays, it's like everybody should know about Juneteenth because it's a part of our history.
Celebrations will continue throughout the day. Alana Wise, NPR News. Juneteenth has been a federal holiday for 2 years now, but about half of states have yet to make it an official state holiday. We'll hear about ongoing efforts to change that. Also, inflation's skyrocketed in Argentina. In response, many workers have stepped off the job demanding higher wages to keep up with prices. Those stories in 10 minutes on 91.7. 74 eastbound after North Bend, the right lane blocked by a wreck. Northbound 71 at Ridge. The left lane blocked by a wreck. Traffic there is slow from the Norwood Lateral.
The Ohio Newsroom's mission is to report the economic, civic, and cultural stories that affect all Ohioans. Funding support for that work comes from the Reitman family.
Support comes from Music and Event Management, Inc., presenting Peter Frampton Never Say Never Tour. June 21st at Rose Music Center at the Heights, and June 22nd at PNC Pavilion. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster.com. Peter Frampton, Never Say Never Tour, live in Ohio this June.
9 morning weather. Showers likely, some isolated storms today, the high 78. Showers fading tonight, an isolated chance of rain continuing overnight, the low 67. Spotty showers tomorrow, the high 78. 68 now in Cincinnati.
Do you ever look up at the night sky and wonder what's out there? What could be happening across the vast universe right now? If you're interested in all things space, you can join me, Dean Regas, and a special guest every other Friday for the Looking Up podcast. Where scientists on the front line of true scientific discoveries, fellow astronomy lovers like myself, looking up invites a new expert on the show every episode. And there's something new to learn from even the most seasoned space explorer. Listen to Looking Up on WVXU.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning. It's 8:44, 68 degrees in Cincinnati. This is 91.7 WVXU. I'm Marianne Selesnik. quest for success isn't just for style anymore. Scanning your rock band t-shirt might bring up pictures of a concert you went to. Embedded NFTs can prove you own a limited run clothing item, and a special sweater can now shield your identity from facial recognition cameras. WBXU's Ann Thompson first told you about this in January in Focus on Technology.
Literally by design, an Italian company is schooling facial recognition cameras into thinking you are a giraffe, a zebra, or a dog. The clothing it makes doesn't cover your face. Instead, you wear the colorful designs on your body in the form of sweater material in tops, pants, dresses, and hoodies. University of Cincinnati College of Design, Architecture, Art, and Planning Associate Professor Emily Flannery explains, using patterns can confuse the technology,
as it doesn't know which type of face it's viewing. It's looking at a blend of two different images. So the images in the article, they look kind of brightly colored, botanical scene.
but also reminiscent of digital camouflage like in the armed forces. It's meant to conceal and hide from other uses of technology. In its clothing, the Italian company, Capable, uses adversarial patches or images that make recognition systems ignore other objects in the scene. Instead, they make them detect an item of choice. The patterns are manufactured using a computerized knitwear machine, and the clothing is not cheap, starting at $300. Flannery wants to know how long it's going to work before facial recognition software catches on. She says you might want to do it yourself and save money.
So DIY and home examples of someone taking a garment they already own and then augmenting it with things, maybe a kit that they buy from a third party, or with things just around their own house to kind of get the same effect.
CNN reports Capable wasn't the first initiative to meld privacy protection and design. Virtue Worldwide designed flag-themed face paint for World Cup fans last year, looking to full facial recognition cameras. And Berlin-based artist Adam Harvey designs makeup, clothing, and apps to enhance privacy. UC graduate Amanda Howell thinks all that is cool, but she has her own thing going on right now. She works for an augmented reality startup in New York that specializes in attaching holograms into physical clothes. During our Zoom interview, she held up an embroidered patch, but when she pointed her phone's camera at it, it revealed much more information.
This patch right here, this is from when we were attending ComplexCon. Inside, we've been able to embed a little augmented reality experience, but then on top of that, we also are able to say what your name is when you purchase this item, what the number it was in the actual creation, and then actually what the item is.
You can see a video of that experience on our website, wbxu.org. How at the company she works for want to find ways to help people develop a deeper relationship with their clothing.
So you could get a band t-shirt, and you scan the t-shirt, and when you scan the shirt, it plays all the videos from, you know, the tour in New York, or the one in Tokyo, or wherever else in the world they were performing. Another one could be if you were on a ski mountain, you scan your jacket and you see a little 3D model of the mountain and all the trails that you completed light up.
Hal was a student of DAF Associate Professor Ashley Kubley. She says clothing that can speak to our devices is growing at an exponential rate. That's good and bad. Kubley says fashion brands haven't done a very good job of giving options to people who need inclusive sizing. She says they might have a different body type or a different ability level. Regardless, Kubley says people are increasingly going to be fitting their garments based off a body-scanned avatar they upload into an online shopping database.
And so these new kinds of technology really take into account like the customization of, you know, the different anthropometrics of people's bodies, their face shape, their body shapes, and allow customization.
On the negative side, she says customers don't realize facial recognition is ever present and their shape and size will be recorded in many databases.
Collecting data points from people through wearables and other devices has always and will continue to be a big question mark for the consumers. People are worried about their data security, but they don't really consider how maybe these technologies are taking different kind of data that can be used against them later. What the shape of their face is, the color of their skin, the color of their hair, the color of their eyes, the shape of their bodies.
Facial recognition cameras aren't just in China. New York's Madison Square Garden routinely scans people. On its blacklist, lawyers of firms suing Madison Square Garden. They're not allowed in, even with a ticket. And that Italian clothing company that fools cameras into thinking you're a giraffe, its founder got her idea while a student in New York. Tenants there are fighting back after their landlord wanted to install facial recognition for entry into the building. And Thompson 91.7 WVXU.
Support comes from listeners like you and from Richmond, Indiana Shakespeare Festival's production of the romantic comedy As You Like It at McGuire Hall in the Richmond Art Museum, June 16th through June 25th, featuring original music, and the show can be seen along with the museum's 125th anniversary exhibit. Tickets at richmondshakes.org.
This is A. Martinez, host of NPR's Morning Edition. One of the things you can count on from NPR and this station, we've got your back when it comes to reporting on the news. And one of the things the station counts on to keep it all going, contributions from listeners. One way you can contribute is to donate a vehicle you no longer need. Free of you, easy to do, and could be worth hundreds of dollars in support. Don't need it? Donate it. Thanks.
To donate your car, go to WVXU.org under Ways to Give.
It's 8:50. This is 91.7 WVXU. Coming up in 10 minutes on the BBC NewsHour, 9 Egyptian men accused of people smuggling have appeared in court in Greece in connection with last week's migrant boat disaster. And the UN has classified the situation of women and girls in Afghanistan as gender persecution and apartheid. We'll talk to a UN special rapporteur. That's all coming up in 10 minutes on the BBC NewsHour here on 91.7. 9 first morning weather, showers likely, some isolated storms, the high 78. More rain tonight, but fading. The low 67. It's 68 now in Cincinnati.
Local support for Marketplace Morning Report comes from Bartlett Wealth Management. Bartlett knows its female clients have diverse financial needs. That is why Bartlett launched We Invest, a program by and for women that provides resources for women pursuing their goals for a purpose-driven approach to wealth. More at bartlett1898.com/WeInvest.
When will all states recognize Juneteenth?
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Angie, dedicated to helping homeowners get home projects not just done, but done well. Reviews, pricing, and booking at Angie.com or on the Angie app. And by Amazon Business, helping provide a smarter, easier way to get the supplies businesses need to thrive. Amazon Business, your partner for smart business buying.
From Marketplace, I'm Novosafo in for David Brancaccio. Happy Juneteenth, commemoration of the day in 1865 when enslaved African Americans in Galveston, Texas learned they were free. They were among the last groups of enslaved people to be freed in the United States. Juneteenth became a federal holiday 2 years ago, but about half the states in the country have yet to adopt it as an official state holiday. Efforts to change that are ongoing. Here's Marketplace's Henry Epp.
Minnesota Senate President Bobby Joe Champion sponsored a bill signed into law this year making Juneteenth a state holiday, meaning state workers get a paid day off. He knows there's a cost, but
the benefits outweigh the costs, right? You know, productivity is increased when people feel good about their workplace.
And he hopes private companies follow suit too. The holiday is an opportunity for celebration and education, says Michigan State Representative Helena Scott, whose Juneteenth measure just passed last week.
Slavery really is a state.
Screensaver is on. Video is recording.
Lately, experts have noticed a new trend.
Over the last 10 years or so, enrollment has declined.
Kathleen Romig is with the nonpartisan Center on Budget and Policy Priorities.
In fact, in the last few years, SSI enrollment has reached all-time lows for the capital.
For older adults in the program, enrollment has just begun to rebound, but that's not true for kids. Their enrollment is down more than 20%, and applications are down by about half over the course of a decade. The Social Security Administration runs SSI. It declined interview requests, but says in a statement there are a lot of factors behind the falling enrollment, like the COVID shutdown and decreasing birth rates. But Romig thinks one of the biggest issues is money.
Between 2010 and 2023, SSA's customer service budget fell 17% after inflation. Over that same period, their staffing fell 16%.
Fewer employees is a problem because you have to work with a representative to apply on behalf of a kid. Last year, the agency's staffing was at the lowest level in 25 years.
It's been very difficult to get an appointment.
So it's hard to get in at the front door. At the same time, for those inside, it's more likely they'll be shown the exit. When people get removed from the program, it's often part of something called continuing disability reviews. That's when SSI checks to see if people still qualify for assistance. David Wittenberg, a senior fellow at Mathematica, an analytics group, says for a while SSI had very limited funding to do these checks.
And then they got administrative funding in 2015 and did a lot of continuing disability reviews.
The funding to help people enroll in the program has dropped, but the process to remove people from SSI, that's well funded. Wittenberg says sometimes it's legit to take people off SSI. Their disability got better, they earn more money, but sometimes it's because of a mistake.
If you submit the wrong paperwork or if you don't file on time, you lose benefits.
So I walked into the house after a week away with a pile of mail, and I opened it and I read it, and my jaw dropped. I'm like, what?
Biskin read that Connor's benefits had been terminated, and she had to repay many thousands of dollars. Her guess is that a bit of financial information was misrecorded. Without SSI, Biskin says she's had difficulty paying utility bills, and she's pulled her kids from recreational activities. For nearly 3 years, she's been trying to fix the mistake. Emailing, faxing, calling.
Calling constantly. No callback. No acknowledgement. It's absolutely a nightmare.
Other parents have similar frustrations.
You'll get a letter stating that the case might be terminated because they didn't receive the documents requested in a timely manner. And I'm like, that's not true because I take the time to go get certified. So somebody had to sign up for that thing.
That's Deborah Harris of Maryland, who's navigating SSI on behalf of a grandchild. Her child in Massachusetts needs her son.
You're told where to go, right? Instead of being given a 10-speed bike, you're given a tricycle with 2 wheels.
Their concerns have reached Washington.
Let's at least get rid of the bureaucratic water torture.
Senator Ron Wyden, a Democrat from Oregon, says a lot of SSI's bureaucratic problems do come down to money.
It's my job as chairman of the Senate Finance Committee to find additional resources, and I'm committed to doing it.
Wyden says another part of the problem is outdated and overly restrictive requirements. He's drafted a bill to modernize the program.
It's time to bring SSI into the 21st century. It's not been updated in 40 years.
But his bill's price tag, $500 billion over 10 years, making some experts skeptical about its prospects. Research shows the falling enrollment impacts everyone. When young people are removed from SSI,
a lot of them are turning to illicit activity, and that is then increasing the likelihood that they spend time in prison.
Manasi Deshpande is an economist at the University of Chicago. She compared 18-year-olds who lost their SSI benefits to those who stayed on the program. When checks were cut off, she found a 60% increase in criminal charges for crimes that help make up for lost money.
For men, we see increases in drug distribution and burglary, whereas for women, we see increases in prostitution charges
saves as much money in taking young people off SSI as state and local governments pay out in policing and prison costs for the same people.
The big takeaway is that SSI has big benefits for young people and for society. And in particular, the first order thing that SSI is doing is preventing crime.
Experts are brainstorming how to boost SSI enrollment for kids. Some say enlist schools to help and coordinate with children's hospitals. Others say put the application online. The Social Security Administration says it's working on several fronts to reach out to families. For parents like Roberta Biskin, SSI is a lifeline, but a fragile one.
I feel like there has to be a change, a desperate change.
She and others hope the program can become simpler and stronger for everyone's sake. For NPR News, I'm Gabriella Emanuel.
This is NPR News.
Huge tanks and massive anti-aircraft systems are part of the Ukrainian arsenal. So are fighting machines that are small enough to hold in your hand.
The government needs to think and act as a technological company.
How Ukraine is meeting Russia's superior air power with an army of drones. On next Morning Edition from NPR News.
Start your Tuesday with Marianne Zalesnik and Morning Edition on 91.7 WVXU.
Support comes from Cincinnati Opera presenting Lucia di Lammermoor. Get swept away in the heartbreaking Scottish tragedy in all its gothic beauty and gorgeous music. Featuring world-renowned artists, stunning sets and costumes, and the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra. Tickets at cincinnatiopera.org. Lucia di Lammermoor at Music Hall, June 22nd and 24th.
Northbound 7175 before Buttermilk Pike, there's a broken down vehicle. The two right lanes are blocked and traffic is affected back to Burlington Pike.
It's All Things Considered from NPR News. I'm Mary Louise Kelly. Despite the popularity of women's soccer, it is still rare to find cleats that are designed specifically for female athletes.
Until fairly recently, it's always been a men's boot that's been shrunk and made properly beautified.
Some shoe companies are changing that slowly. First, the news.
Live from NPR News.
Screensaver is on. Video is recording.
popular demand, I'm gonna drive by or check out Jim Grim Park. Humid right now. Probably gonna rain some more.